Hi dear viewers, in the follow-up to the topics of our projects, now we have reached a project called Navigation UI, and as you can see here we have a series of artboards. These artboards here are different shapes. These are a series of pages. We usually come across these pages with different names. You sure have come across different applications where you see such pages as you see here. I zoom in so that you can see the pages with their details. Imagine in the image that you see here, this image represents an intro image or an introductory image. This intro determines what theme and services this software is providing and what its purpose is. And we have a series of buttons here. Usually we come across different formats of the intro pages on different apps. Here we have a series of buttons, and on these pages you have different formats and different shapes, and you can design each one based on your specific intention and taste. But my purpose is to include the most challenging options among these so that we can easily set them up. Regarding the first page or the first artboard, over here we have a background here. This background is a static page. We have some transcripts over here. These two buttons show how we are going to enter this application. And finally, the items related to the slider or the intro of these pages are being shown to us. Designing this is really easy. It is not anything special. We have different forms and samples of different designs. We analyzed all formats in the previous projects, and in the third image we are dealing with the same format as before. Here we have a background, there is a slider here, and finally some pieces of writing and a button. There is nothing special about this, but in the fourth and fifth images there are some challenges. Imagine this is your slider. In this slider, an introduction has been provided to you as to what this app is, how this works, and different details on it and the other items that are available to us. And we are dealing with the same thing in the fifth image. We have a background. We had the same design in the previous project, and it is not such a challenging accomplishments. Among all these pictures, I can choose a few so that we can choose a better selection for our examples. We can start designing them. In this project I am going to give some examples on these items and see how these are being designed. As an example, I am going to use the first image on our options. Okay, and you can even design this file in a much more professional manner. In the other samples that we can see here, we won't be dealing with any difficulties regarding the designs. You can wonder how these keyboards are. If I zoom in on these items, soon you will realize some of these are repetitive and they are using some fixed and static layouts, and you can download them as some pre-made kits within the web and use them on your projects. And the other items that I might use an example, something that might be a bit problematic. You may have a problem with using this circle. This is how this circle is made, and in the background of this image it's being set, it is showing itself, and we won't be having such a problem with it. That's not what we're going to be worried about. I can choose some of these and analyze them together and see how they will be designed and how we can use them. For instance, if I were to design the first page, I will be able to copy the format of this page and move it over here, and I will be able to change some aspects of it. For instance, this layout is specifically used for the iPhone users, and we can change these for Android platform phones, but I want to apply some changes so that you can see how these are being designed, you know, with different parts of it. The background is an image which can be separated, and the file over here. Alright, this is a background, and the artboard here, as you can see, has or contains a specific color. Okay, and that is here. If I go back to the former item, here it has fill. Usually in different applications, we rarely have an application with such a background. It will overload the app, but we aren't going to deal with this aspect here. We are just going to see how these are designed, and here I have such a background that contains a few items. The first item is the artboard itself with a size of 375. 375 has been made, and the kits that are here, that is this item that we see, and each one of these items with different and there are specific formats that are being contained within this application. We are going to have somewhat of a different format. Imagine if we were to place this background on this one like that. I click so that it can show up like this. If we have it over here, I'm trying to use that specific format and show it like this. Okay. Usually it would be much more appealing compared to these images. Everything is more dynamic here. There are some texts that have been mixed up with a background. But we are not going to design a completely applicable design. Some design needs some reworking. Here we are not going to have fully applicable designs, but it is better to do this because in your projects you need to have some designs that can be applied in a practical format. Designs in different developmental platforms such as Android Studio or React Native. These formats could be all applicable on such platforms, but if you want to apply them in the end, your best bet and your best chance should be having a design that is more easily applicable, and it is going to cause a lesser amount of difficulty and trouble for the designer. So here I can perform a series of actions and more items. We have been designing different forms of the buttons that we have over here. These are rectangles that are being designed like this, and using the round corners. For instance, I set it at 50 here like this, and the color code that it has got, I can get it from this one, or I can use my own color board. Here the topics of color psychology are really important. Here, if you check these two designs over here, you realize how different these designs could be in terms of colors. And here, for instance, I want to have the email set up for me and displayed to me. Imagine this button is going to be white, and surely the white color may not be what we have on our mind. I prefer to use a darker color like this, or I can set these as login for example, or sign in, or whatever button that you want to have over here. We set it as signing as an example. Imagine how different this could be. I set it over here. I don't want it to have a border. I want it to be very simple, and I can copy this again and set it over here. Let me move it. Of course, I need to add a space between them. Alright. I add the space so that we would be able to use it better. It is mostly a matter of creativity. In the previous projects, I emphasized the fact that regarding designing, creativity comes first and foremost, and how different you can view the art of UI or user interface designing. I could design this just like that, quite simple and straightforward. And imagine, for instance, we are going to have this item together and have this one. I copy this and set it over here. Okay, and now we want to see how these have been designed. There are some layers here that we can see, and these layers are very simple to use. They have been designed and set up like this. Okay, and when the user clicks on them, he sees them like that. It's very simple. If I delete these one by one, okay, I remove these as well. I'm not going to need them. I need my space emptied out. And let me remove these buttons here. Okay, that's it. Alright, I just want to remove these buttons. Okay, I change this to yellow. This has a color, a solid one. Alright. You can see it. I copied a button that I had set up here. I copied it. I want to have it on my new page, so I copy and paste it there, and just like that I paste it there. Now I have the same button so that we can apply it on our page again, this one, and I make a copy. Okay, and set it at the center like this. Okay, that's it. Now we get to the labels that I have. For this label, we have a bag and next. So here, what I do is, here I write back, yeah, B-A-C-K, and here I type next, N-E-X-T with capital N. Okay, I set it exactly at the center, and this one as well in the same fashion. Okay, that's up to here. We move on with the project in next video.